Okay, so welcome back. And so today, what we're going to talk about is the different groupings of numbers. So we take numbers and we have certain groupings, right? So the first two groups that we talk about, that we're going to talk about, are the natural numbers, and we're going to talk about the whole numbers, okay? And then what we're going to also talk about when we talk about are what we call groupings or magnitude. Okay, so we have certain terminologies that helps us when we say words, when we say numbers. We don't want to say, well, that number is 10011101358, right? So we want to be able to talk and say numbers more easily than that. Okay, so we came up with some terminology, groupings, that help us to categorize or to more easily represent numbers if we want to write them out. Okay, so and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So the first two, again, introducing just some concepts. Natural numbers. The natural numbers, or what we call counting numbers, right? The numbers that we use to count things. And how do we count? We count by starting with 1, right? We don't start with 0, right? We don't go 0, 1, 2, right? We don't do that. We say 1, 2, 3. So counting numbers, right? So the natural numbers are also called the counting numbers. And so we start with 1, and then we go up from there. So the counting numbers would be the set. That's a really bad bracket symbol, set symbol. So we would say that it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And so now the set of 3 dots, by the way, is we call this an ellipsis. An ellipsis just means, in the context of mathematics, means that it continues. This set continues to infinity in like fashion, in the same pattern. Okay? So what would come after this? 5, 6, 7, and so on. Okay? So this represents the set of all natural numbers, which are infinite. Okay? Now, what about whole numbers? Well, whole numbers are basically the natural numbers plus 0. So the whole numbers we would represent starting at 0. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on and on and on. Okay, so these are the natural numbers up here, and these are the whole numbers. Okay, that's it. That's all you need to know, right? So now, what about these groupings? Well, in our system, we group by 3s. Okay, every group of 3 digits together represent a new grouping name. Okay, so for example, the first 3 place values, right? And so that's called the 1s, 10s, 100s. Okay, those place values, right? These 3 place values represent the group units. Okay? And then the next 3 place values, which are the 1000s, ten thousands, oops, wrote out the number. Hundred thousands, are grouped together as the thousands. Not so surprising there, right? And then you could guess, well, if we go to the next group of 3, what comes after that? Well, then we have the 1 millions, the 10 millions, and 100 millions, and this group is the millions, right? So this group is called the million. And this is what I mean by magnitude, right? So we call these units. Now again, typically a lot of people don't even realize that we call these units, because what do? We just do ones, tens, hundreds, and then it's thousands, millions. What's after millions? Billions, and then trillions, and then quadrillions, right? And it's by every 3 place values, right? And so that's what we mean by groupings, okay? So we can represent and read numbers by these groupings, and we usually separate the groupings by commas, right? Every 3rd digit going from from right to left, we put a comma, okay? So, for example, if I have something like this, right? So we know this is the units. Thousands. Millions. Billions. And then, of course, if you want to add, just for the sake of place value, just for a moment, these are the trillions, right? So now, every 3rd one helps me visualize, and this is the key, right? Instead of counting, right, we put the comma to separate the groupings to make it easier for us to visually see what number it is, right? If I didn't have the commas there, it would be harder to see what this number is. I mean, we do things to make it easier for us, right? So, every grouping of 3, we know that, hey, this is, 3, 6, 9, 12, right? So 12 zeros gives me to the trillions. So it's followed by 12 zeros. I'm in the trillions. So here, this is 1 trillion, 1 billion, 231 million, 917,111. And that's it. Again, I hope that makes sense, and if you have any questions, let me know. But other than that, that's it. That's all you have for you about the different groups: natural numbers, whole numbers, and then how we group them for naming purposes. Okay, other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.